Welcome to Phazon Labs, the internet's premier Metroid Futurist podcast, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week is Michael Plasma Beam Poop Head Brown.
All right, I'll allow it. Apparently,
Of course you will, because I'm in charge.
I need to requisition some new rocks to bang together, by the way.
Take it up with the finance department.
All right, I'm in.
And every week, we bang our space rocks together and we make a new Metroid game for your amusement. So, this week, Michael's got something for us that he was super excited about and then is slightly less excited about, but still excited about. So let's see what's slid down your depression ladder this week.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Honestly, the easiest way to describe this is I want to give the Metroid series the Breath of the Wild treatment. Give me an open world game with the concept leaning heavily on the fact that Samus is a bounty hunter.
Okay.
Like, we mix in some Red Dead, we mix in some Breath of the Wild, let you basically go anywhere and do anything. Obviously, it'd be slightly different because the powers that you have are slightly different. And it'd have to be one hell of a balancing act.
Right.
But I think if done correctly, could be amazing.
I could see it. It's
tough.
Yeah, because the real question is, how do you make an open world Metroidvania? Because the two are almost naturally conflicting.
Yes and no. Like, honestly, certain 3D games have kind of already pulled it off in that there are certain areas you have to come back to with certain powers in order to get to different areas. Honestly, like the Soul Reaver 1 is a decent example in that there are certain, like, everything kind of starts in a basic hub area, and once you've gained powers, you can go, you can climb the walls, you can do the little things to get to the next area. But everything is kind of in a base hub area. And that's a very simplistic version of it.
I'm not saying it doesn't work in 3D. My question and concern is, giving it the Breath of the Wild open world treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you bump into conflicting design philosophy, I think.
Yeah. I think we'd almost have to, that would almost have to be relegated to power-ups.
What are you thinking?
Well, simple, completion bonuses. The Metroid series is known for completion bonuses. I'm thinking, different cannons, different missile upgrades, different all kinds of things like that, depending on whether or not you want to go do these other little side quests, whether you actually want to do the exploration for them.
So is there anything specific that you want to see in this, aside from just kind of the big open air design philosophy? Is there story beats or
Federation credits for bringing in bounties?
Okay.
Upgrading your ship based on those credits. Actually,
you know what might work or serve as a functional kind of baseline for this? I'm going to throw it back a little ways here, but Oddworld Stranger's Wrath.
You know what? I actually had that thought. I've never played Stranger's Wrath, but I remember seeing a lot about it, and I remember being mad that it was basically a third-person shooter because I can't play those. Because it looks like
is a third-person shooter too. You can switch between first and third.
No, still, I can't play shooters. But I remember it looking phenomenal, and I really wished it was something I could play, but it's just outside of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think something like that with a more equal balance, focus on traversal as well,
Mm-hmm.
could be a really neat way to go. And maybe that's how you do it too, is that, you know, you start with essentially all the bounties on the board, but getting to each one is kind of a matter of you have to find the first one that you can actually get all the way to.
Yeah.
Get him, and then start working in some upgrades that allow you to get to some of the others.
Yeah. Obviously, I think there also had to be hidden bounties, things that unlock other bounties and whatnot.
Right.
Almost maybe a dialogue tree based on when you find certain bounties, they can give you hints. Like, for one instance, if you let this one go, look, I'll tell you about this other guy you're looking for.
Right.
And then you have the option of hunting him down again later.
I would say that too, and along with the game almost gives you a falsehood where at the beginning it says, here's all the bounties, but it's all the stuff that, you know, the Federation knows about, and here and there along the way, either in the course of bringing one in or looking for another one, you find out about some of the other characters that the Federation has an interest in or would have an interest in, and then they get added to that list.
I think it'd be awesome if one of them was a Federation member.
Oh, agreed. And there's another pitch for another week actually that kind of plays on that idea and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I could totally see that. I mean, you know, it's a big enough organization. There's got to be problems. I mean, there's obviously problems. We've explored some of that. So maybe you're looking for the shadowy person that was talking to Adam in Fusion.
I'm also saying the bounties don't specifically have to all be from the Federation. Like, hell, she could take a bounty from the space pirates, for fuck's sake.
Right.
You know? As long as it doesn't go too far out of, you know, left field, and that, like, there's something beyond what she would be willing to do. Like, because she is a bounty hunter, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind actually seeing, like, one of those bounties maybe come from Spire from Hunters, where he's essentially offering a bounty not for a person but for a lost relic or an object that might help lead him back to finding his people.
Okay.
So that's, like I said, Spire to me is one of the most potentially lore-rich characters from Hunters that just all those characters they never really did anything with. The only thing that's, you know, potentially on the horizon for that is Prime 4 doing something with Silex.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see more of that explored. And Spire always kind of stood out to me as, because he's a blank slate almost, there's a lot of opportunity there to go in a lot of different neat directions. So now here's the other question too. If a lot of this bounty money is going into not just upgrades and abilities for Samus, but also her ship, how would you want her ship to play into this?
How do you mean?
I mean, what spin do you put on here to make actually using her ship not just a throwaway like it was in Prime 3? Because Prime 3, you actually got to control the ship, at least kind of, sort of. and actually fly it around to different planets, and you used it to call in airstrikes very occasionally, but it felt very throwaway, which was a shame given that it was the first time you actually got to really do anything with her ship.
I think, for one, there should be at least one space battle. At least one dogfight with the ships. Like, to the point to where you have to disable their ship enough to board in order to catch them.
I was just going to say, that had me thinking, because, we mentioned last time, throwback to the Journeyman project with the Hollow. That was something else that they toyed with in one of the Journeyman project games, where you were chasing down a ship in a space dogfight, and you had to get its shield level down, but you couldn't take it out. You just had to get the shield level down far enough that you could actually hit it with a tractor beam and drag it in.
Yeah. Like something along those lines.
Oh yeah, that kind of thing would be great.
I mean,
it'd definitely be neat to see her actually, flex some of those piloting skills. Especially with the look at the inside of her ship we got in Dread. Like, man, that looked fucking fun.
Yeah. Like, I would also like to see the concept of, like, different bounties based on dead or alive. Different bounties based on, find this creature that was stolen from me. Or this relic. Or not just bring this dude in,
Yeah. Well, I could totally get behind that.
Even something as simple as a bounty of I want you to fuck up this guy's coronation.
Part of this makes me think that I'd like to see a bounty presented where it gives some moral pause or conflict, where she's not jumping straight into it, but she hasn't just outright turned it down, and you're left kind of as the player to mull it over whether or not to actually execute on and deliver that bounty once you get to whatever it is. And that, you're kind of left with that moment of, don't I pull the trigger?
Right. Honestly,
and I would like to see that choice actually have a significant consequence, cause like a major fork in the story.
Yeah. I would like to see a lot of stuff like that, honestly. Like nothing in this should be completely black and white.
Right.
I mean, obviously some of the early ones should be, but as you go further, like, you get to see the reasoning behind why these people have done the things they've done. And again, it's not all black and white.
Yeah, like the further you go, the more morally gray it gets.
Yeah.
There's definitely potential there too to see what happens if she goes down that darker path. Like, some of the bounties that become offered and presented to you vary depending on which choices you make. You make enough morally crappy choices, and you get to a point where most of what's left aren't even bounties so much as just straight up assassinations.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, you get Adam in her ear, essentially, kind of giving her the, look at what you've become. Fuck are you doing?
Agreed.
Someone to essentially dog you for making morally dubious choices along the way. Adam essentially becomes Jiminy Cricket.
Yes.
I do think, too, it would be... for something like this, I would like to see Adam present with her the whole time, where he's, where she's able to essentially take him along in the suit and have that little voice in the helmet, and you actually get some dialogue between the two of them.
Yeah, he could also function as in the like Navi from Ocarina.
Right.
So that would simplify things a little bit there.
Yeah, I could see that. So, I do think too that having the ship in the mix presents a good opportunity for some diversified scenery as well.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind the idea of Samus essentially taking a bounty to go bust up essentially a warlord in a international, an intergalactic weapons smuggling ring.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun party to crash.
There's all kinds of different stuff that she could do with this.
Like, I feel like that alone would give it a little touch of a Far Cry feel.
Like, basically, we could use this concept to flesh out the universe she's from.
You really could.
Because we've seen so little of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Prime 3 at least did give a little bit bigger glimpse into it, and I appreciated that. So, but no, it'd be neat to kind of see more of things from the bounty side. It'd be, like you said, it'd be interesting to see kind of not just more the inner workings of the Federation itself, but also, a bounty hunters guild.
Yeah.
And then, what happens when those come in conflict. So, but that's just me. That's another one too that you can play around with, where the guilds, someone's put out a bounty on somebody through the guild, and the Federation has a bounty out on the same person as well, and it becomes a question of who do I turn this over to and what do I get out of each.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
So is this sitting a first-person Prime style? Because I kind of feel like that's where this goes.
I would prefer it, I think, in a third person, over the shoulder.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, it'd be neat to essentially have some of those cutscenes play out where she's taking a bounty and somebody says, I'm uploading you the data now, and it just kind of comes scrolling across the visor while they're sitting and talking, and she's kind of soaking it in, and then you've got, like I said, Adam would actually very naturally feel in your ear because you're in the helmet.
Okay.
That's just my thought. But it's only a thought, and it's all speculative, so.
Right.
So what do we call this little gem?
Fuck if I know. Maybe just bounty hunter.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
It's perfectly on the nose.
Yeah.
So I can get behind this. There's a lot that can be done with this that probably sadly never will, but who knows. All the same though, we've made a fantastic little game again this week, haven't we?
We have.
Go us. We're the best. Well, in that case, I think
no actual programming.
Right. Well, that and too bad copyright law is what it is, and all that other fun stuff too, and that certain companies frown upon fan games and the like.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me either. I have no idea why I said that.
I don't know, right?
This feels a little fourth wall breaking.
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Can we go back to our podcast where it's safe?
You heard it here first. Here first, folks. Phazon Labs is a safe space.
Defending you against the insanity of the world around us.
Uh-huh.
One episode at a time. Well, here's a good place to wrap up our shenanigans for the week. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in and joined us this week and had a little fun with us. And thank you to my lab partner, Michael, for coming and hanging out with me this week and having a little bit of fun. And let you know that if you like this, you'll love our other stuff here at the World 1-1 Podcast Network, including World 1-1 Podcast. I'd play that for $1 and more awesome stuff in the works as well. You can also check us out all sorts of great places you'll find in the show notes, including Good Pods, the best place to podcast. We have a brand new Discord you can jump into. We've got an invite link in the show notes for you as well. We'd love to see you come join and hang out with us there. Also, don't forget to check out other show that's running, Mind Over Media, and maybe out by the time this releases should be the first episode of Noob Reviews is coming. So make sure you check out all the other good stuff that we've got here in the network feed. And the nice thing is you only have to hit a subscribe button one time to get it all. What a fucking deal. What a value. So much bang for no money. We are way too kind. We should start charging for this.
Acceptable.
But we have yet to do that. But if you do want to leave us a tip or donate, though, there is a wonderful little donate button over there on Good Pods. So, if you get some enjoyment out of this and feel so inclined to throw us $1 or $2, buy a cup of coffee or Phazon juice, then that's how to do that. So, with all that said, let's wrap this up. Like I said, thank you to Michael, thank you to everybody that tuned in, and we'll see you all here next time on Phazon Labs, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. Press start to engage your mind. See y'all next mission. Peace!